Today, some updates to how I'm building and finishing my custom-built fluid head tripod and ultralight tripod. I'll do a little behind the scenes, how I'm doing it for some of you DIYers, and answer a bunch of questions that I've been getting in general about camera support. Well, hey everyone, Hudson here. Welcome to this week's video. So today we're going to talk about tripods, and I'm going to go kind of behind the scenes on how I do my custom build. I get a lot of questions from people about how are you doing this? How are you wrapping your legs? What kind of tape are you using? Why do you recommend the leveling adapter that you recommend? What about other types of tripods? Why are you going with these Leo Photo tripods that you've chosen? And I'll answer all that and show you some behind the scenes of how I build my custom tripods. You know, if you're interested in learning more, there's a couple of videos over at my custom tripods page, hudsonhenry.com/tripods is where you'll find that. And then of course, you know, I give all of the parts lists to everything that all of the gear that I use on a day-to-day basis and stand behind is constantly updated at hudsonhenry.com/ATS links, along with the individual parts for these custom tripod setups, both the ultralight 4-pound sort of travel system and the 7-pound ultra tall fluid head setup that I love to use if anywhere possible. So we're gonna go through all that. Before we do, I just have to say I did an office hour session, big free group get together that's available to anybody, looking at a call for submissions, macro photos. Everybody was invited to submit one macro photo, and Rick and Woody and Darren and David and I all kind of went through those images today in a big live group get together. And I just have to say, and I'm going to put a link to that video, to the recorded office hour meeting, because the images that everyone submitted into this gallery just blew my mind. Such great work. So this community that's following these videos, the Approaching the Scene community, I can't thank you enough. And I can't say how proud I am of the quality of the content that you consistently deliver when we do image reviews and calls for critiques and that sort of thing. It's just mind-bending. And it's fun to see people progress, and it's fun to see everybody's faces in these meetings. So we're doing another one August 16th, 10 a.m. Pacific. That's a Tuesday. You can sign up at hudsonhenry.com/office hours. It's going to be an open Q&A about anything that you want to talk about. We've got a bunch of questions accumulated that we haven't had time to get through, but you can sign up, choose YouTube or Live or Zoom, and submit a question when you sign up over at hudsonhenry.com/office hours. So I hope that we'll see you there. Also, really quick, we've had two more. We filled our Grand Tetons workshop slots that were open, and then we've had two more people have issues where they had to drop out. So we have an opening in each of the Teton workshops. As I say this, they may be closed by the time that you watch this video, but if you run over to hudsonhenry.com/workshops, the Tetons is an amazing place, and we'd love to have you join us. All right. So I'm just going to kind of work from the bottom up. I'm going to use this. This is a tripod I just finished. We just built a batch of these for people that I'm shipping out tomorrow. And I thought I'd talk about some of the refinements that we've made, and also talk through in a way that'll answer questions people have had about these tripods. You know, if there's a specific section or part of the tripod you're more interested in than another, as always, this video is chaptered. If you scroll along the bottom of the timeline, you'll see the different chapters highlighted that you can watch, or there's a table of contents with time codes that are linked in this video's description, along with links to what I'm talking about. So, all right. So when I build these custom tripods, I'm starting with the base tripods, the Leo Photo, it's a 284 CEX with a built-in leveling adapter for the ultralight tripod, and this 324 CL, nearly 80-inch tall, bomb-proof, beautifully made set of legs from Leo Photo that weigh less than 4 pounds. It's kind of an amazing accomplishment, and I had a little hand in them designing this kind of to the specs that I was wanting, and I'm proud of it. I love these legs. I think that, you know, one of the reasons I'm using them over competitors is that they're doing just really high quality CNC milling on the spider assembly and the leg caps. The carbon is beautiful. It's really, really light. The leg locks remind me of the older Gitzo leg locks I liked better than the new ones, which I've had a lot of problems with. I like the locking mechanism on the upper part of this. The cam the cammed lever spins around in a 360 without having to turn it 180, take it out, turn it back, push it in, turn it 180 like so many other tripods. And then there's a nice positive lock right here. You can't possibly take this out if it came loose without pulling and releasing it. This is the leveling adapter. We'll talk about that in a second. That just drops right in here. It's a systematic leveling adapter by Leophoto made to go with this tripod. All you gotta do is cam that in, twist it down, and we're rock solid. All right, so when I build my custom builds, I always include a full set of rock claws, the TFC rock claws that they make. They're wonderful. I include a full set of their TFS spikes. I've been using a set of these spikes on my own tripods now for 1.5 years in saltwater conditions, and there's not a speck of rust. And I love that they have these little caps that just spin on so that if it's on the side of your bag or you're working on wood floors, you're not gonna cut your body taking your pack off or someone else or mar your wood floor. So those get included with every set of tripods that I sell. And that's kind of the base part. The stock little rubber feet come on the tripod, ready to go. We open up every one of these nice leg locks and grease the threads. And I think it's really important, you know, these tripods are burly enough, well built enough that you can work securely with the lowest leg out. A lot of tripods are so spindly at their lowest leg and so unstable that people recommend you not use them. With these tripods, I usually open the bottom leg first and have room to work without stooping down to get more height. And particularly in saltwater conditions, if I'm out in the saltwater, I'll open this leg, lock it really tight with these threads greased, and then I know saltwater's not gonna be penetrating into the mechanism here. I just leave it locked till I rinse it with fresh water at the lowest leg lock, or any leg lock that went into the saltwater. I rinse the whole tripod before I open it and close it. And we go through and put really nice carbon fiber safe silicone grease on this. It's actually made for mountain bikes and other applications where you've got really high quality carbon fiber and it won't corrode it. The next step that we do is we actually put some hockey tape around the leg at the point where we want this stone bag to go. And we do it in this kind of cool fashion. We wrap it with one wrap of hockey tape, then spin the tape to where it becomes sort of a little tube, and then wrap a few wraps of that tightly spun tape around to kind of create a ridge, and then one more wrap of hockey tape. And I have to give a huge shout out to my friend and constant workshop companion, Charlie Johnson, for coming up with this from one of his woodworking gurus for woodworking tools. It creates a little ridge under the cork road bike grip tape that we put over the top of it to mount our stone bag. Stone bag is just an essential. Some people ask, well, don't these tripods have a little bit narrower leg angle? Don't you worry about stability? I don't worry about stability at all. If the wind is blowing or something's at all unstable, all I do is start loading things into the stone bag, big heavy rocks. I can hang my bag from the hook on the bottom. I had Leophoto make the stone bag with a hook too. So it's kind of this jack of all trades. Often when it's windy, I'm just looking for a big 25-pound stone, and all of a sudden, my 7-pound tripod becomes a 32-pound tripod, and it's not going anywhere in the wind. The stone bag's just essential. It folds up inside when you collapse it like nothing. And by putting this little ridge and mounting it where we do, it's easy to access and put things in. You often use it as a shelf too. Even when you don't need to weight the tripod down, it's great to put filters or a lens or anything in. But the way that we've set it up, you know, if you open their kind of auto leg locks here, you can go straight to the ground, and this will stretch with it, or any of its positions. So it's really, really just a handy thing that I generally just never take off, and this is the perfect place to place it versus higher up where we were putting it before. Like I have, this is my personal ultralight setup, and I haven't redone the legs with that rich of hockey tape yet. I haven't updated this one to some of the newest specs, so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Used to be that we mounted it up way high. It's hard to get in there to put stuff in. Now with it down lower, it's much easier to access and put things in there. But if you go all the way to the bottom, like I've seen a lot of people do, well, then you can't spread the legs without undoing the stone bag. This way it can just stay in place all the time. The other thing, my wife is helping me build these tripods, and that's why in some of these cut scenes you're seeing her beautiful hands instead of mine. She didn't like the way that the gaff tape looked finishing this cork grip tape. We use cork road bike handlebar tape to wrap the legs just to keep them insulated. When it's cold, you're not getting your hands cold. It protects that beautiful carbon that's always exposed in the outer leg section from bumps and dings if it's on the side of your bag going through a forest or bouncing off rocks. And it looks a little bit less stealable than this beautiful carbon weave that you see when you start extending the lower sections. So it serves several purposes, but it's just really nice to work with. Feels great in your hand, kind of like the nicer trekking poles do those cork grip handles. So we wrap all our tripods with that over that little hockey tape ridge, and then we wrap a piece of gaff tape like this just around the tip to secure that grip tape from going anywhere, that road bike tape. And this stuff weighs nothing. You know, road bicyclists are notoriously weight conscious. This weighs like less than an ounce. So Stacy came up with this really cool silicone tape that we wrap around to finish it that goes, it stretches and it only sticks to itself. So you wrap it really tightly around the cork and then out around the carbon. So there's no tape going on the carbon anymore. And it just stretches around and it sticks to itself so securely that you'll have to pry it out a little bit and use a pair of scissors to cut it off. You can't undo it. But it's not sticking at all to the carbon fiber. It's not sticking at all to the cork. It just locks that upper part in and looks really, really clean. So that's just a nice thing. Super durable. I've been using that for a while now on my fluid head, and I've been sending out a bunch of these. People love it. So that's where we're going with that. People ask me why I like this LB75S leveling adapter. And people also ask, well, what do I do if I'm using my own tripod that's not systematic? It doesn't have a spider at the top where I can just swap that LB75S in. And I'm going to put a link in my ATS links in the tripod section to the just straight LB75, because there is one that threads onto the top where a head would thread on. And the thing I like about it is this little winged system. It has 15 degrees of tilt in every axis, so it's about a 30-degree tilt leveling adapter. It got this big, beautiful level up the top. And the thing is, you can keep both hands on your head while you just kind of take your pinky finger or your thumb and snug it. And then you can reach down and just give it that little extra twist and you're locked, right? So it's really simple. You just loosen it, both hands on there, take your pinky finger, give it a little tight, boom, locked. It's a really wonderful way to level. It's much nicer than having the handle underneath and trying to hold the head up above, and it's a really nice smooth action. The other thing that's great about it is it has these 3 little set screws around it that you just tighten up with an Allen key, and they drive up into the base of the head. They're easily accessible. So you just spin this head on snug each one of those, give them in each an extra quarter twist, and boom, your head is locked in place, rock solid. And then of course we take off the stock Manfrotto 500AH bridge on the fluid head system and replace it with Kirk's just beautiful bridge assembly with their rotating clamp, Arca Swiss clamp that's mounted dead in the center of the axis of rotation for those of us that are panorama aficionados. And we throw in the adjustable LRP-3 nodal slider in every single one of these tripods. Both the standard ultralight setup that comes with the Acratech pan and tilt head. This tripod gets all the same treatment as the big long legs with the fluid head. It just doesn't have a fluid head, and it has a built-in ultralight leveling adapter from Manfrotto. It's about the same thing, still 30 degrees of tilt, smaller, lighter. It still has the set screws that drive up in, and you get this beautiful work of art that is Acratech's panorama head with the lever clamp on the top of it and the rotating clamp. Otherwise, all the same treatment, the same kind of tape, same kind of road bike grip tape, same feet come with it, and the Arca panorama nodal rail should be the no parallax point rail. So that's basically it. One nice thing about this system is they both come with bags that they fit right inside of with the heads still on, nice for traveling. Of course, the fluid head also comes, if anybody likes doing filmmaking, with a handle that just threads right onto the head that lets you do those pans and tilts smoothly from a little distance away to just be a little bit smoother. And they both come, like I said, with the feet and the flat plate that comes stock with the systematic head for the bigger, tall set of legs, the fluid head system. Because it's systematic, it comes with 3 different systematic parts. It comes with the LB-75 with the head on it. It comes with a flat plate that you can drop in there to put any different tripod head you want into it. And it comes with a 75mm bowl adapter in case you're going to use some kind of fluid head or something that requires a bowl adapter. All of those are included. So hopefully that helps some of you out who are into the DIY aspect. I'll link that new tape that we're using in the hockey tape. All the other parts are already listed over at my ATS links page. You can run there, you can see all the stuff that I use. And again, I'm constantly updating that. If you want me or Stacy and I to build you one, we are more than happy to. We have the parts for a few more right now. You know, occasionally it takes a week or 10 days. The global supply chain crisis is what it is. And there are times, you know, when I'm off on adventures. I'm heading to Glacier National Park with my good friend Rick LePage, doing some last minute scouting for next year's Glacier National Park workshop on Sunday. I can't wait for that. I think we'll do a little ATS from the road there, maybe taking some questions. So again, you know, anybody has any questions or comments, feel free to throw them on this channel's, on this video's comments, or email me. I'm easy to get a hold of. You know, thanks so much for sharing, liking, subscribing, being a part of this community. Go check out that office hours video. It was amazing. And sign up for the office hours, August 16th, Tuesday, 10 a.m. Pacific. The sign-up's at hudsonhenry.com/office hours. All right, everybody. So hope everyone is staying healthy, staying safe, getting out there, being creative, having fun with whatever camera gear it is you love to use. I know that I am, and we'll see you next week.